Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to this channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. Our lecture today is titled Foreign Aid. Foreign Aid. Now, according to Moomin 2013, the concept of foreign aid is widely used and accepted as a flow of financial resources from developed countries to developing one on development grounds. Now, how do 2013 also looks at foreign aid as development assistance by which a country, multilateral institutions, and non-governmental organizations, give to needy countries. Okay? Now, comprehensively, therefore, foreign aid, also known as international financial assistance, okay, or overseas aid, is economic, strategic, technical, or financial assistance given by a wealthier country or group of countries to another, usually on international and intergovernmental level. Okay, usually on international or international intergovernmental level. Now, what are the categories? What are the categories of foreign aid? Now, the first category of foreign aid is developmental aid. Developmental aid. This is the type of aid, foreign aid, that is actually done, that is given for the purpose of developments, for the purpose of actually ensuring, the development of the society that of the recipient country. Okay. Now, number two is humanitarian foreign aid. Humanitarian foreign aid is a type of aid that is given to actually help, a population that is needy, that is actually undergoing, one form of disaster or another, either man-made disaster or natural disaster. Okay, now what are the purposes of foreign aid? Purposes of foreign aid. Number one is that now, the first purpose is that it is a sign of diplomatic approval that once a foreign aid is given to a particular country, it is actually a sign of diplomatic approval. Now, a country cannot just extend an olive branch to another country if there is no diplomatic rapport, okay, between those two countries. Okay, so that is number one. Number two, it is used to strengthen military ally, between two or more countries. Okay, so that is number two. Number three, it is actually used as a reward, to reward the government for behavior desired by the donor. Now, if the donor is actually very satisfied by the behavior, of the recipient country, of course, the donor actually use it to reward the recipient country. Then number four, to extend donors' cultural influence. Okay, a very good example is the Chinese scholarship that they give. Okay, so that is actually number four. Number five, to provide the infrastructure needed by the donor for resource extraction from the recipient country. Okay, so if the donor actually wants to extract or wants to take away resources from the donor country, from the recipient country, it actually builds, this infrastructure that will aid the movement of these resources, from the recipient country. Then the last point is it is given for humanitarian purposes. Humanitarian purposes. Okay, now what are the arguments for and against foreign aid? Arguments for and against foreign aid. Now let us look at the arguments for. Who are those who actually support foreign aid? The people that support foreign aid actually says that Number one reason why foreign aid must not stop is for economic development. That foreign aid is used to provide social infrastructure such as education, public health, medical programs, technical training, and of course, research. Okay, so to that extent, foreign aid is actually, very necessary, according to the proponent, according to those who actually argue in favor. Number two is for economic liberalization. Now, foreign aid actually leads to trade liberalization, which creates an opportunity for the less developed countries, to have access to the Western markets. So when there is foreign aid, it helps, for trade liberalization, which helps the third world countries to actually have access, to the Western markets. That's number two. Then number three is technology transfer. Now, aids, particularly project aids, attract sufficient physical and financial capital along with technical know-how, skilled personnel, organizational experience, market information, advanced production techniques, innovation in products, and so on. So all of these are actually, another argument in favor of foreign aid. Then number four is industrialization. Where there is foreign aid, a country that actually receives foreign aid, now if such a country is actually smart enough, such monies can be plowed back into industrialization. By so doing, that sector will actually jumpstart or catalyze the economy. Okay, that is number four. Number five, modernization of the society. Foreign aid is also, giving for cultural export. Okay, for cultural export. Now, when these cultures are exported, or of course the way things are actually done in the donor countries are exported into the recipient country, it also helps them, to actually achieve development. Okay, that is number five. Number six, capital inflow to the less developed countries. Capital inflow to the less developed countries. Now, one of the arguments in favor of foreign aid is that it is good because it will lead to capital inflow, to the less developed countries, and that will translate to the development of that, of such countries. Now, but what are the arguments against? Who are those who actually do not support this foreign aid? There are those that actually say, look, foreign aid promotes certain negative things within the recipient countries. Number one is dependency syndrome. Now, dependency syndrome. A lot of these recipient countries actually become, disingenuous because, of course, they are seeing free money. And of course, where there is free money, okay, creativity and innovation is actually, would take the back seat. So to that extent, the argument against foreign aid is actually very rife. That is number one. Number two, discouragement of public sector saving. Okay, where there is foreign aid, the government officials or public office holders will not want to actually save because, of course, there is free money actually coming, here and there. Okay, number three, it leads to corruption. If people actually have access to free money, the tendency to mismanage, misapply, and mismanage, misapply, and of course, corruptly enriching themselves out of that money is actually very high. Okay, so that is actually the next one. The next one is lack of accountability. Lack of accountability and transparency. Where there is free money, okay, the tendency is that the public office holders will not want to actually be accountable for it, because at the end of the day, the money comes like a free money, okay, and so, the public officers, or public officials will not actually be answerable to the local people. Okay, so those are just the major things. Thank you very much.